It didn't help that the video guy was like, yeah, I've witnessed 2 or 3 deaths before, so that was kind of put me at unease.
Skydiving is an intense, adrenaline-fueled sport, but let's look back at how it began. People may think of skydiving as a modern sport that only gained popularity in recent decades, but shockingly, the first incidences of parachuting were recorded as far back as 90 BC, over 2,000 years ago in China. These ancient parachutists were typically not jumping for recreation, but were jumping to escape life-threatening situations. To escape imminent danger, they would use materials they had handy such as hats sewn together, sheets, or umbrellas. Leonardo da Vinci replaced these crude designs when he created his own model of the parachute in 1495. It was shaped like a pyramid and had a wooden frame. This model was later improved upon in the 1680s in France under the reign of King Louis XIV. It wasn't until the late 18th century in France that the sport became recreational. During this time period, Jacques Garnerin performed as a stunt parachutist jumping out of hot air balloons throughout Europe. Hot air balloons was used until the late 1900s. The creation of the airplane in the early 1900s transformed this sport, which began to look like the skydiving we see today. One of the earliest recorded incidences of airplane skydiving was in 1911 by Grant Morton, who jumped from a Wright Model B airplane in California with a silk parachute. During World War II, paratroopers would rain down from the sky into enemy territory using parachutes. After the war ended, there was a surplus of military parachutes left over, which were converted for recreational use by former paratroopers who had the nerve and skill to jump. By the 1950s, commercial skydiving companies began to pop up, and by 1967, the United States Parachute Association was established, which still exists today. So there's the journey of this death-defying sport, from launch to landing.
I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Been waiting on this for a while now, paying my dues to the dirt. I've been waiting to slide, eh? Been holding it in for a while, eh? Take you with me if I can. Been dreaming of this since a child. I'm on top of the world.
Okay. I wanted to skydive in the first place because I like things that get the adrenaline going, the near-death experience. That's what I live for.
And I've been wanting to do it since I was little, and yeah, I just grew up the courage to decide that I wanted to do it, I guess.
As soon as I turned 18, I knew I wanted to do something like invigorating, and so that was kind of my first option. As soon as I hit the ground, I immediately wanted to do it again. I would have done it a million times that day if I could have. It was amazing.
I wouldn't want to skydive ever again. It's testing fate, kind of, I guess.
I continue to skydive because you just get this high when you do it, and you're just like falling, you're about to hit the earth, and you don't. My parents were like, no, you can't do it while you're under our roof.
My mom definitely didn't want me to do it. She was on the phone with me the whole time. She made me call her before and after.
No, my parents didn't know the first time. I called them after. My mom was furious. My dad was like, well, I knew you were going to do it at some point, so it's over with now.
My dad thought I was completely psycho. He was not supportive at all. But I mean, he told me if I wanted to do it, if it was something I wanted to do, then that's fine. I would definitely say that skydiving is an addiction to adrenaline.
Yeah, I'd say that skydivers are addicted to the adrenaline feeling, and that's why they return.
Like immediately after I went skydiving, I went to a theme park like the next weekend because I just like wanted adrenaline. The biggest adrenaline rush was right before you go out the airplane. It's actually not like whenever you're in the air. It's a great feeling.
I thought that the initial feeling would be like on a roller coaster and stuff, like you kind of lose your stomach or whatever that's called. But it's just a lot of wind pressure, that's all.
Free falling, falling.
To skydive, I just would describe it as weightless.
Breathtaking.
Adrenaline pinching.
Excited.
It's crazy. It's a different experience.
You feel
Exhilarated.
so powerless.
Very scared.
Felt invincible.
I felt like I accomplished something.
Definitely encourage others to skydive. It's something that is irreplaceable, the feeling, so definitely everyone should try it.